Hello everyone, I am Nihal Nahas, working as Test and Implementation Engineer in Smart HMS and Solutions Private Limited. As part of Tech Learning Initiative, today I am here with a presentation on the topic ETL Testing. Now let's take a look to the agenda of the presentation. By this video, you will be getting a comprehensive understanding of what is ETL testing. So these are the topics we will be discussing in this video. We will begin with an introduction to ETL testing and why it is essential to the world of data management. Then we will be covering some basic concepts like ETL testing basics, how to do ETL testing, key components of ETL testing strategies, challenges in ETL testing, best practices in ETL testing, and finally we'll be looking into tools for ETL testing. So now let's start with what is ETL testing. ETL testing means that an ETL process is correctly extracting, transforming, and loading data as per the specifications. ETL testing is done by validating and comparing the input and output data transformed by the ETL process. In simple words, ETL testing is like checking that your data moves from one place to another correctly and without any mistakes. It is making sure that the data you need for making decision in a business is clean, accurate and ready to use after it's been moved and changed in computer system. It is like a data quality check to ensure that everything is working smoothly. Next, ETL testing is used in data-centric projects having a huge amount of data or substantial number of data pipelines. It should not be confused with application testing, which usually involves a small amount of transactional data. ETL in testing means extract, transform, and load process that reads data from multiple source system, transport it to a data transformation layer for further processing, which include cleaning, consolidating, integrating, and then loading into a target database or file. So, ETL testing plays a crucial aspect of ensuring the accuracy and integrity of the data in today's data driven world. In our increasingly data centric environment, businesses and organizations rely heavily on data for decision making. However, this data is often stored in various sources, comes in different format, and need to be transformed and loaded into data warehouses or databases for analysis. This is where ETL testing, which stands for extract, transform, load, comes into play. It is the process that makes sure your data is clean, consistent, and ready for analysis. Next is why ETL testing is required. Without ETL testing, there is no way of knowing if the process is built to the specification as per the requirement. Without ETL testing, the code cannot be released or deployed in production. ETL testing enables root cause analysis to identify data issues due to the source data or the ETL process. It is very expensive and difficult to fix data issues in production. So, ETL testing ensures that the data issues are caught early in the development lifecycle itself. So ETL testing is actually a quality check which compares the actual output and the expected requirement. So next is basics of ETL testing. Actually, ETL testing is carried when there is large amount of data. ETL processes read data from a source, transform the data, and then load it in the destination database. An organization can easily have thousands of such ETL jobs processing their financial, customer, or operation data. ETL testing is a process of checking quality and accuracy of data, and it is moved from one place to another, often from source system to data warehouse or another destination. In ETL, extract means this is where data is gathered from various sources like databases or file. Transform means data is cleaned, transformed, and converted into a consistent format to meet the destination requirement. And finally, load means the data is then loaded into the target system like a data warehouse or data system. In ETL process, the defects cannot be found out by simply reviewing the code. To find the defects, we have to actually compare the expected requirement and the actual output. So next is how to do ETL testing. So the first step is the ETL code is executed to generate the output data, and the output data is collected, and then we will be comparing with the expected data. Then based on the comparison result, the quality of the ETL process is determined. So if it is matching with the expected data, then the ETL test will be passed, and else it will be failed. ETL testing are evaluated indirectly through black box testing approach, wherein the ETL process is first executed to create the output data, and then we will be verifying the output data. The quality of the ETL process is determined. Next, we will be discussing about the key components of ETL testing. First thing is data extraction. So this is the first phase where the data is extracted from the source system. So this can be in any form of databases, files, APIs. So here ETL testers will ensure that the data extraction process are retrieving the correct data and no data is lost in this process. So the second one is data transformation. In this phase, data is processed and transformed to match the target system. Here, the ETL tester validate that the data transformation are accurate and consistent, ensuring the data quality is maintained. Next is data loading. Data loading is a process where the data is loaded in the target data warehouse or target database. ETL testing verifies that the data is loaded correctly and completely and also in the expected format. Next one is data verification. ETL tester check whether the data at the destination matches with the source data. Data verification ensures that there is no mismatch between the source and the target data. If there is any issue, there will be many data inconsistencies. Next one is data quality check. ETL testing include data quality check which assess the overall quality of the data. These checks involve verifying data accuracy, completeness, consistency, and conformity to data quality standards. The last one is error handling. ETL testing should examine how errors are handled during the ETL process. So here, testers should ensure that the error messages are appropriately logged and the error data does not lead to any data corruption. Next is ETL testing strategies. Here we will discuss about four ETL testing strategies. The first one is incremental ETL testing. So this approach tests only the newly added or modified data in the ETL process. So actually incremental ETL testing is done when we are dealing with large databases to save time and resources. The second one is performance testing. Performance testing assesses the speed and efficiency of ETL process. It helps to identify the bottlenecks and the performance issue in the data integration pipeline. The third one is regression testing. It checks the recent ETL changes and makes sure that there is no negative impact in the existing ETL process. It ensures the overall stability and reliability of the system. And the final one is smoke testing. Smoke testing, often used in ETL, perform basic tests to quickly identify the critical issue before a full round testing cycle. It helps to catch major problems in the ETL process. Next is challenges in ETL testing. In ETL testing, we are analyzing data in large volume and also we have to get an output which is similar to the expected requirement. So because of this, there are many challenges in ETL testing. The first one is complex data transformation. Next is data quality issues. Then limited testing resources. then changing data sources, lack of expertise, performance issue, and integration challenges. Next slide is best practices in ETL testing. Some of the best practices in ETL testing are test early and frequently. Next one is use realistic test data. Third one is automate your testing. Fourth one is test for performance. And the last one is follow a structured approach. So, for a betterment in ETL testing, we have to test as earlier as possible and frequently. Then we should use realistic data, and if possible, we should automate our testing. Then we should conduct performance testing, and we should follow a structured approach while conducting ETL testing. Now we will be discussing about the tools which are used for ETL testing. Some of the tools used in the industry are Informatica Power Center, Talent, Apache Nifi, Apache Kafka, and Query Search. And that's all. I hope that you have gained some knowledge from my session. Thank you for spending your valuable time for watching my session.